Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So we're over here with Bill's 1025R, and he's got it set up with the grapple on the front and the Frontier RC 2048 48-inch rotary cutter, not bush hog, I've been told. We always call it a bush hog. Anyway, so he's been using this all winter and spring to pick up sticks as they fall, and then any that he can't pick up with a grapple, he just rotary cuts them with that cutter. And it's been working out good for him. But now it is July, and he's got a bunch of grass to mow, and he has other mowers, but he wants to put this 72-inch Frontier finish mower on his 1025R. So he had me bring them over, and I've already sharpened the blades on this. We're going to go ahead and grease everything up and get it put on his 1025R. So let's see how it goes.
Hi everybody. For the record, I'm still going to call it a bush hog, and so does everybody else around here. If you call it a rotary cutter, they're going to ask you if you want a Dremel or a grinder. Just FYI.
All right, so we're going to grease everything up. To do that, we're going to take this 17mm socket and take our covers off. So there should be one or two grease fittings under this cover. We've got the grease fittings on the PTO shaft. Okay, we'll just clean out. Look, somebody was living in there. That would be a Fluffy. Glad he's not still home.
Eviction notice.
Yeah. Look how rusty this is at. Okay, let's take the other side off and we'll grease everything. Grab some of these.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and grease these spindles. That'll be enough. We'll grease this spindle. Okay, the third spindle, it's interesting. You have to slide the drive shaft out of the way and probably get a screwdriver. We'll get a screwdriver and pop that off. The third grease fitting for the third spindle's underneath that little cover. Okay, so we'll pop our cover out, and there's our last grease fitting. So that's why if it's not on the mower, it's easier to do this now, because you can slide the drive shaft out of the way. That'll be enough. All right, since we had to evict Fluffy, and plus just because it's dirty, I'm gonna take the leaf blower and blow this off. All right, that's not too bad. So let's go ahead and put the covers back on, and then we'll grease the drive line, which is a PTO shaft, and then also the spindles for the wheels. There's one. All right, we'll zip this cover down. All right, so we'll grease that other shaft and our four wheels, and we'll be ready to roll.
Okay.
Okay, so that fitting is buried down in there. We spin it around right there, we can get to it. Another reason why it's good to do this before you get it on your mower. And it's blowing grease out there, so pretty good. Let's do the front.
Let's see it.
we go. Now we can get to that one. And I see it blowing grease out, so we're good. Okay, now then, on this cutter, which I just read the label, and this is called a grooming mower, is what John Deere calls it. We always just call it a finish mower, kind of like the bush hogs. And if somebody called this one a bush hog, I'd understand what they was talking about. All right, so we're gonna grease these up. And plenty of grease and actually blowing some water out of that, so it's probably good we grease these. All right, and we'll get the two in the back. It's coming out the top.
Oh, I see.
And coming out the top. So we are greased up. Let's get it hooked up. All right, so he's got this quick hitch on here, which makes this really easy to switch. So let's flip the levers up, and the cutter is on the ground. So when I pull this one up, this whole thing's probably going to drop down a few inches. Or it could anyway. Okay. Let me start it up, and we'll just lower the thing all the way down.
Yeah.
All right, all that's left to do is remove our PTO shaft. So raise this cover up and then reach in here and figure out which way it goes. Okay, so this collar slides back and the shaft slides right off. Pretty easy. Now we'll back up. Oh yeah, no, that's part of the eye hitch.
Ah.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about the eye hitch. You don't have to mess with this top link. Okay, so we've got this rotary cutter completely free. We'll back up to the finish mower and hook it up. So now with it hooked up, with it picked up, you just flip these levers down. That's all there is to it, other than hooking the PTO up. Okay, now that our iMatch hitch is connected to our finish mower, all we have left to do is put the PTO shaft on. And this one has this button that just pushes through. Let me turn it so you can see it. So it just has this button that pushes through instead of those ball bearings like that rotary cutter had. So I can slide this shaft forward. I'm going to spin it a little bit to line it up with the splines. That should have been far enough. There we go. So it's going on. Now we just push our button, slide it until it clicks in. We are set to go. A big thing that people forget, or that at least Bill's forgot a lot, and me too probably, but go ahead and then slide our PTO guard back into place. If it's folded up, it's not near as protective. All right, so I did everything else. I figured let's go ahead and check the oil in this gearbox. And just so you know, I didn't film the sharpening the blades, but to get those blades off, it took an 1 16" impact socket. These bolts for these shrouds were 17 millimeter, and this gearbox oil check bolt is adjustable. Maybe it is.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
There we go.
Ah, I was beginning to think it was PB blaster time.
Ah, no. I was just beginning to think maybe the oil was fine.
Oh.
Okay, and I see oil right down in there. Honestly, I was hoping there was a dipstick under that when I took it off, but there wasn't. This is just a breather. There probably is a bolt around here. Okay, it shows oil level on this side. Just show it on that side. No.
Let me come over there.
So it's got a line for oil level, but there's not like a check bolt or anything that I see. But looking down this hole, I'd say that's about where it's at. So we're gonna put the cap back on it. Okay, so take a look at the width of this tractor with this 72-inch finish mower on it. So with the duals on that 1025R, which make that infinitely more stable on hills, which is primarily where he's gonna mow, that 72-inch mower fits in the wheel track, but it doesn't hang out past, and you're not running over grass that you're not cutting. So we think this 72-inch works out pretty well on this mower. All right, well, I think we're totally ready to go. Now, one of the things about this 72-inch Frontier finish mower is it requires a minimum of 30 horsepower tractor to run it, according to the specs. And as I'm sure all of you know, the 1025R is a 23 horsepower tractor and actually only 18 at the PTO shaft. But what we found out, and your mileage may vary of course, but if we're cutting 2 inches off a 6-inch tall grass to get it down to 4 inches, this thing has worked really well. So your miles may vary, but that's been our experience. So let's go mow with it and check it out. All right, so the nice thing about this finish mower, in my opinion too, is that you don't carry it with the tractor. You just put it on all 4 wheels and set those wheels at the height you want. And then as you go over uneven ground, it kind of can float with that 3-point hitch. So the other thing is it's on a 540 PTO, and I like the John Deere 1025. It's got a thing right on the RPM gauge that shows you where that 540 is spinning at 540 RPM. So we're gonna go ahead and start it up and start mowing, and check this out. This is probably the heaviest grass over here, and it's on a little bit of a hill. We've got a steeper hill over there that we'll go to next, but check it out, we'll see how it cuts. All right, so check that out. That is only 4 passes with this 72-inch mower. That's 24 foot of mowed grass that looks good. And like I said, with the duals, this thing has got a lot more stability than the 1025R does stock. In fact, I've mowed this before we put the duals on it, and it was a little sketchy. And this isn't the steepest we've got, and this was totally, completely stable on this hill now. Okay, so I went ahead and greased everything. I took the covers off, and there was a mouse had been living in there, so I took a leaf blower and blew everything out.
Well, he had a pretty good ride for the last
Yep.
2 or 3 days, because I moved all of that stuff over there.
Oh, but so I greased every grease fitting on it and got it hooked up, and it's working great. So, and I mowed, I don't know, probably a half acre or something over there on the other side of the pond.
Did
So,
you?
yeah,
The heavy grass?
in the heavy grass,
Yeah.
yeah. Where the sun hits, it's the heaviest grass. So,
Yeah, that's all I'm going to keep mowed out,
yeah.
is the parts that thing, and as long as it looks green. And I told her it better, see my yard and everything, it better rain.
It's supposed to rain today.
It's supposed to rain, got 3 days in a row it's supposed to rain.
Yeah.
I just need more.
Right. I'll tell you what, those duals are amazing, how much more stable it is on that hill over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They are, I could not have moved the stuff that I moved without their back 2 set of tires.
All right, so check it out. That 1025R with that 72-inch finish mower on the back, it is a grass mowing beast. And with the duals, you can mow these hills a whole lot more comfortably than I could before I put them on there. So again, this is Bill's tractor, and you know, he loves to mow, and he's got a lot of hilly ground. So we're really blessed to have the duals and that bigger motor. All right, so I'm not going to recommend that you go out and get a 72-inch finish mower. And like I said, everything you read will say it won't work, but our experience has been that it works fabulously. So thanks a lot for watching. If you liked the video, give us a like. It definitely helps the channel out. And we invite you to subscribe to see more. Have a great day and be safe.